Hi, you may think this is a crazy question to ask at a time like this, but are you being too optimistic? How can it be that we're simultaneously panic buying toilet paper and requiring government action to close down bars and casinos? And are you making the same mistakes for your own organization? See, your brain makes choices by weighing rationality and emotion. The rational side of the scale is all about facts, objective conclusions based on evidence. The emotional side is all about risk perception. It balances the desire for accuracy with optimism. But here's the trick. Your brain is lazy, and it favors easy predictions that are the least costly to justify. What's more, there's a thumb on the scale. That thumb is optimism bias. We overestimate the likelihood of favorable outcomes and underestimate the likelihood of unfavorable outcomes. And as you know, facts are in short supply right now. We don't know what's going to happen in the future, and there's nothing historically to compare it to. So when your brain makes a decision about whether to go panic buy toilet paper, it hears that someone else is buying toilet paper, and it imagines a future where maybe you're not able to get some, but it doesn't cost very much to go pick up a few rolls for yourself. You're going to use them eventually. The same thing happens in the stock market. People see the fact of their portfolio balance begin to decrease, and now they make a decision to cut their losses now. They would rather take the guaranteed loss now than forecast some unknown loss into the future. And here's what happens in our organizations. Because there's no facts about how our lives will evolve in a week or a month or a year, and because our brain is lazy and defaults to the easiest, least costly prediction, it predicts that things are going to be the same. That in 2 weeks, everything's going to snap back and it's all going to be normal. And we continue on with this optimistic, in fact, overly optimistic prediction until it's too late, until the facts become overwhelming and the facts start to crowd out our optimism bias. So how can you get ahead of that? How can you start to think ahead of your optimism bias, and not to be a pessimist, but to think about something closer to reality? You can do an exercise that my wife and I did for her fresh roasted coffee business today. It's kind of like the 5 whys in reverse. This is the 5 consequences, although you don't have to do a full 5. Any amount would be good. So start out with some fact that is an undeniable, objective truth based on evidence. So for this one, I used people are staying close to home. You could also use schools are closed or the bull market is over. And now you list 2 possible negative and 1 possible positive result, a direct consequence of that fact. So here for the negative, people are staying close to home. People are probably going to have less income. And for my wife, she's not going to be able to sell at farmers markets where she had been selling her coffee. A positive outcome is people are going to start maybe emphasizing personal care. And then we do it again. We list 2 negative second-order consequences and 1 positive second-order consequence for each of those. And then we do it 1 more time. And now we take a look at those at the bottom, and we look for the biggest challenge and the biggest opportunity. And then we challenge ourselves. And you find one thing you can do that will both mitigate that biggest challenge and go towards taking advantage of that biggest opportunity. And I bet what you'll find is that one thing is something that's smart to do, whether this crisis lasts for a week or a month or a year, or it completely changes the normal that we've experienced. And then it's a smart thing to do. And even if that thing is not the perfect answer, you've started to put some alternative scenarios into your brain, so you're no longer influenced by the optimism bias in the way that you would have been before. So give it a try, see how it works for you. And meanwhile, I'll continue practicing my good social distancing out in the woods. Thanks, good luck.